Right? Absolutely, all away. Our topic today is heart-centered service. Our theme for the month is empowerment. And I have one of these. So what is heart-centered service?
It's a field of flowers.
Oh.
We're going backwards.
Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. There you go.
There we go.
Heart-centered service, because it's kind of like that. When we're serving from our heart, it's kind of like we're offering our heart out to others, and it's a wonderful thing. So what is heart-centered service? There are some things I know about heart-centered service. Heart-centered service is working from your passion, letting your passion come alive in whatever it is you do. It's asking yourself, what is it? What is it that gets me really excited in a positive way? Because there are other ways to get really excited, but in a positive way. And what am I curious about? What is it that I really want to be able to delve into some wonderful thing that I can share with others? And heart-centered service is serving in a way that brings you joy. Absolutely. And so it requires that we know some things about ourselves. Do I like working with people? Do I like working with animals? Do I like working back in the corner with numbers so nobody can see me and I don't have to talk to anybody? What is it? What is it that gives you joy? Because we can't do heart-centered service unless we are feeling joy. It's using your gifts and talents to make the world a better place. Now, sometimes folks think that unless their job is using that passion and that joy, unless that's their job, the one they get paid for, that it's not very important. But that's not the case, because it doesn't have to be what we think of as our primary activity, the thing that is our heart-centered service. I had a friend who, she was an amazing baker. I mean, the luscious muffins, pies of all kinds, breads that were beautiful, cakes and cookies. She loved to bake. And so she thought, I love this so much, I'm going to start a bakery. And she did. And about 2 years into it, she was over it. She couldn't stand the smell of powdered sugar. She was totally tired of being dusted with flour all of the time. And she was no longer able to give heart-centered service. Luckily, she sold the business. What had been her passion was no longer her heart-centered service. Because sometimes when things like our beloved service becomes a full-time job, then it's just not quite the same. And so we need to honor that we each get to do it in our own way. And there are as many ways to give heart-centered service as there are beautiful people here in this room. And heart-centered service is knowing that you can make a difference in the world being just who you are. I remember when we lived in Lakewood, there was a young woman that worked at the King Soopers that we often shopped at. And she was always smiling. She would pack the groceries very carefully so that the produce never got squished. Now that's a gift, right? Yeah. And this young woman lived with Down syndrome, but she had found a place where she could serve and have her heart just sing. There were lots of occupations that were not open to her, but she got to do what she loved, and she did love it for sure. At the basis of heart-centered service is respect. Absolute respect. As the Dalai Lama said, love for others and respect for their rights and dignity, no matter who or what they are ultimately, these are all we need. If we have that love and respect, it is absolutely the way that we can give heart-centered service. Now, you hear us say again and again and again, love lives here. We're even going to have some artwork here that says love lives here pretty soon. And that's the absolute truth. When people come here, they often remark on how good it feels, how welcoming, how the energy is sweet, how they feel at home. And this is the energy that we have all created together. We have all created together. Now, it's not just me and Reverend Leah as ministers creating this energy. I mean, we're amazing, but not humble, but amazing. Well, she might be a little more humble than I am, but okay. Not humble, but amazing. And it's not just the fabulous music that Karen provides and all of the inspiration of the musical guests that she brings in, like Stephanie. You know, it's not just that, although that is such an important part of it, my dear, and I love you. Yeah. It's not just our board of trustees and the people who volunteer on Sunday morning. I mean, although they're the ones that take care of the business of the church, and they do a really good job of it. And they're the ones that like just warm up this place in the morning. It's not just the practitioners. It's not just those of you who show up on Sunday morning with your hearts open and your joy showing. I love looking out and seeing the joy on faces. You know, you are such an amazing inspiration to me. Thank you. And it's not just our practitioners, although they are the ones that hold us. They're the ones that remember the truth for us. They create the beautiful container that love can live in. They're here. For that's what practitioners do. They remember the truth for us when we have forgotten it. I don't know that that's ever happened to anybody else, but I suspect it is. There are times when we all forget the wonder that we are, forget that we are expressions of the divine. And they remember that for us. So I would encourage you to take advantage of the practitioners. Of course, they'll be in front for prayer afterwards. Their names and cards are on your bulletin and on other places around here. You can always fill out prayer requests, and the practitioners or Leah or I will pray on them. The practitioners are so important for remembering who we are. When we forget, when we can't see our way forward in a situation, they remember that the best is yet to come. They remember that God has in store for us so much more good than we can even imagine right now. It has taken all of us working and playing and bringing our heart-centered service to make this center what it is today. Not just one person or two or even 10. It takes every one of us. And all together we create this place where it is so easy to say and feel that love lives here. We're absolutely empowered by Spirit when we follow our heart. Life is good now, right? Yes. And God has even more good in store for us. You up for it? Yes. Okay. Together we can trust the goodness of God. We can trust without a doubt that the universe is always for us and never against us. The universe is always for us and never against us. We can trust the wisdom and the guidance that comes from deep within our soul. Here's the catch. We have to do our part. Okay, you've heard me say this before, I know. We have to listen to and follow the guidance. We have to listen to and follow the knowing, the deep knowing that comes from within us. Trusting, trusting, trusting that that is the divine leading us. Leading us to what is the highest and best for all concerned. Of course, we can do that listening by getting quiet, by spending time in meditation and contemplation, by visioning prayer, breathing in music, breathing in nature, breathing in beauty. All of those are ways that we can settle into the quiet and hear Spirit speak. When we sincerely ask for help and guidance, and then have the courage to follow its inspiration and direction, our lives evolve in wondrous, wondrous ways. And evolution comes through change. Have you noticed? Evolution comes through change. Things can't stay the same and evolve into something greater at the same time. In order for improvement to happen, evolution to happen, things need to change. And there are some changes that are coming around here at Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley. Mary and I are retiring in September. And I'm saying Mary and I because I know that really I'm the minister, but you know, I couldn't do this without her. And I know that if I just say I'm retiring, people are going to say, but Mary's going to stay, right? Yeah? Sweet Mary's going to stay. Oh, she doesn't like me to call her Sweet Mary in public. So we're planning on having September 22nd be our kind of big goodbye here to all of you, which will be very hard. This comes after prayer, after asking for guidance, like I was just talking about, and after following that guidance, knowing that, God has more good in store for us than we can even imagine. Now, have you noticed that we've been visioning and praying about a new, larger space? Have you noticed that we haven't found it yet? Well, I know why, because I've done some contemplation about this, and I have not been ready to step into that. I mean, I've known that I was going to retire in the next couple of years. I mean, I'm 72. I've been around the planet a lot. And I'm used to answering the call of the divine, because what I know is that if I don't follow the guidance I'm giving, Spirit has other ways. Spirit has other ways to move me away from this community so that you can grow. I mean, the 2x4, have you ever gotten the 2x4? Yeah? Uh-huh. I don't want to wait for that. I can't wait for that. And what I absolutely know is that this is for the highest and best for everyone. This is the highest and best for CSO Boulder Valley because I cannot wait to see what Spirit has in store. I cannot wait to see it. There's a part of me that has, ever since I took this position, had just a feeling that I was building this community back up so that somebody else could take over and really run with it. So that could be an exploding place. And we are in good shape. We are in good shape, folks. And I didn't want to do that, move into the new place, and then say, because the new place could potentially have been, okay, it would have been bigger, potentially fairly more expensive, right? I didn't want to just move us to a place and say, well, bye, it's been great, because we're in good shape financially, and we're in good shape in lots of other ways. I mean, in the last few years, we have moved into the 21st century, begun to move into the 21st century. I mean, we have a sound system. Do you remember when we had our song words on a flip pad and somebody had to stand up and flip the pages so we could see, the song words? Right. Okay. I mean, we've done audio and video and things are working smoother in that way. And our website, which is always being upgraded. Thank you, Catherine and Kelly and Lorelei. I know they're working on it even this week. Yes, doing some amazing things like that. We've moved into the 21st century. Still some way to go, but we've moved into the 21st century. Now, I'm retiring, but God is not. Okay? This is not my ministry. This is God's ministry. It's not Leah's ministry. It's God's ministry. And it takes the heart-centered service of every one of us, because that's what makes us who we are, this place where love lives. Now, as you may have guessed, I've been asking myself some questions. I mean, this has only gotten clear in the last 8 days. I'm not waiting for the 2x4. But I've been asking myself some questions. And so one of the questions I've been asking is, who do I want to be in this time of transition? In those last precious months that I have with you. You know, I know there's a lot for me to do. I mean, I want to get things in order so that people know, how I've been doing things. Not that I expect them to do them the same way, because we all have our gifts and talents. But I want to do as much as I can to have everything in an orderly fashion. But mostly, I want to be thinking about, how do I want to be in this time? And what I absolutely know is that I want to be the place where love lives. I want to be that. I want to be the light that knows that the best is yet to come. For Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley, for each one of us, for anyone that has anything to do with our community, the best is yet to come, for this is God's ministry. Now, this month's theme is empowerment. The month only lasts a few more hours, but it is my intention to empower all of you in this time, to remind you. I mean, because do we not forget sometimes how powerful Spirit can be through us? Do we not just forget that sometimes? I know that for many of us, change can be uncomfortable and scary. Anyone else? Okay, I saw. All right. Here's one here. Thank you, Patrick. Right. As humans, we are not crazy about being moved out of our comfort zone. When things are working pretty well, we want them to keep working that way. And so change can be uncomfortable and scary. But we forget that evolution requires change. The outcomes and the opportunities that come with evolution can only happen with change. And that's in our individual lives. That's in the life of our country. That's in the life of this sweet, sweet, sweet community. Because we know deep in our bones that change requires us to grow. Change requires us to grow. Now, I don't know about you, but there have been times that I have moved into this growing, changing thing, kicking and screaming. But in order to change, we get to grow. And yet if we move into change with our hearts and minds wide open, amazing things can happen. because we are amazing co-creators with the divine. Ernest Holmes said, "We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What then shall we create?" We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we create? We are chemists in the laboratory of life. We know that thoughts become things. We know that what we expect is very often what shows up in our life. We know that we are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite, and we create our reality. So what are we going to create? What will be created here? It will be absolutely something new, something sweet. A place where you're talking about love, living. Whoa. I can hardly wait to come back and visit in some future time and feel the love. Now, having said that, I also want to point out that it's important for us to feel and recognize our feelings, because change isn't easy. It's important for us to honor our feelings about the upcoming changes as we're in the midst of them. Now, some of us, including me, will feel some real sadness about not being able to spend Sunday mornings with you, and with you, and not being able to share time with you at our other events. But I'm excited about this move for Mary and I. Our plan is to move to the Western Slope. We have some friends there, and we were there just a week and a half ago, and that's when we got clear that, okay, when we retire, we're going to go over here. The date came a little later, but yeah. But this move for us is a mixed bag, because you have supported me and loved me so well. And you have allowed me to support you and to love you, to open my heart. And I am so, so appreciative. So we get to acknowledge and feel our feelings and our fears and our excitements. And we get to move into creating something even greater for this amazing community. So I will keep asking myself the questions, what do I want to do, and who do I want to be, mostly, in this time of transition? And I ask each of you, in the depth of your being, to ask yourselves the same questions. What do I want to do in this time of transition? Who do I want to be? How do I want to bring my heart-centered service? What do I want to help create out of the infinite possibilities of the universe? There are no limits. You are powerful, powerful creators. We co-create with the divine, with our thoughts and our deeply held beliefs. We co-create with the divine with our actions and how we decide to step up. And I love you all. Okay, so let's take a breath. A big breath. Another big breath. And let's read our affirmation together, taking it into your heart. I am a powerful creator. From the infinite good of the universe, I open to and accept the highest and best for my life, for Center for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley, and for the world. Your homework is to go out and live that affirmation. Because that's the kind of world I want to live in, where we are all living in, through, and as our divine power. As practitioners stand, let's take it into prayer. My heart is overflowing with gratitude. Gratitude for all that you have given me, all that you have encouraged me to grow into, all that you have put up with. I know that every decision that is made on behalf of this community is made from a place of divine inspiration, divine guidance, divine love. For we are all, each one of us individually and collectively, supported by a love that fills this universe that is so vast that we cannot even imagine it. This is what you get to take with you, always. And so what I claim for each one of us is that we remember the presence of the divine in every moment, in every situation, in every relationship, in everything we do, in everything we dream, in everything we create. For as we remember that power that is the divine moves through us powerfully, knowing that the best is yet to come, knowing that there are no limits in God, knowing that we are not even limited by what we can dream at this point. And so I am grateful. I'm grateful that as each of us go forth this week, that our paths are absolutely filled with reminders of the presence of the divine, the reminders that we can use this presence, that we can call on it, that we can allow it to use us. For that is when the heart-centered service really happens, when we open and allow Spirit to live, move through us, have its being through us, serve through us, love through us. And so I know that we are blessed. I know that this community is blessed. I know that each person here is blessed. I know that each person hearing my voice is blessed. For there is no other way that God would have it. And so in great, great, great gratitude for all of you, for C.S. Boulder Valley, for our movement, for Reverend Leah, for the practitioners, for all that make this community such a wonderful place. In gratitude for that, I can just let go of the knowing that the best is yet to come. Spirit has not shown us all of its glory yet. And so we step into it. As we step into it in gratitude, as we let it go, we will be guided, we will be blessed, and we will be a blessing. And so it is.
Together we watch the river rolling to the sea, and together we feel God's sunrise as it illuminates you and me. Together